People that use Tinder. Got any good bad hookup stories? NSFW. Not me, but a friend of mine hooked up with the morning weather girl for the local news station thanks to Tinder. Got talking to a girl on there. We met up for drinks and it turned out to be the best date I've ever been on. We just talked all night and ended with a kiss. I walked her home and then we texted each other till we both fell asleep. It was like being 16 again or something. The next time I saw her I got a blowjob whilst we watched Titanic. We dated for 2 months or so and she was great. As was the sex. We wanted different things relationship wise, so things didn't last long, but absolutely no regrets on my part. God bless Tinder, I say. Was talking to this pretty girl and we really connected, so we agreed to go on a date. We dated for a couple of months and she's my girlfriend now. So I'm pretty happy about it. Hooked up with a girl who turned out to be a sister, sorority thing, of a friend. We saw Frozen. She called me later that night, trashed and asked me to pick her up. Took her to her house. She asked me to stay. Tried to get me to snort sugar off her breasts. As in, asked me, wanna do sugar off my titties? Nice girl. Really. But quite messed up. I'm an identical twin. My brother was visiting me at school and I invited a girl I met on Tinder over. He doesn't use Tinder, but obviously didn't want to be alone for the night, so I used the app to get him a girl too. She thought he was me the entire time, all the way up until she left the next morning. Right before she left she asked my brother a question about my rugby team that he just couldn't answer. I got some angry messages afterwards. Edit, my brother and the girl are editors too. Let's see if they see this, haha. I matched up with a 40-year-old recently single female, and me in my mid-20s. We met up at a bar, had a drink and ended up making out in the parking lot. A few nights later we met up at her place and watched a movie. Of course, we didn't really watch the movie. She gave the best blowjob I've ever had in my life and was a squirter. So, thanks Tinder. It was horrible. I installed the app for fun and just to duck around with when I'm bored. Ended up matching with a girl and talked to her for like 2 weeks and exchanged numbers and FB info. She was pretty, seemed really cool, and we shared a lot in common. Eventually she said we should hang out, and I said sure. We met up at a mall and just walked around and talked for about an hour. And I left. After I left, I knew I wasn't going to pursue her. Over text she seemed pretty cool, but in person she was just off. IDK, I can't really explain it. Anyway, within 2 minutes of me getting back in the car, she texted me wanting to know my real opinion on her now. Kinda weird. But whatever, she seems weird, so I just replied saying yeah, she's cool and whatever. Big mistake. Over the course of the next 2 hours, I received over 80 texts, about 10 calls and a couple VMs. All of her crying and saying I need to move in with her and her dad because she's suicidal and I needed to take care of her. I was blunt with her in saying no and this can't go on anymore and to stop contacting me. But nothing changed. I had to delete my FB profile, block her number, etc. I deleted the app after that. TLDR meta crazy. Got drunk. Liked everyone. Went to sleep. Woke up. 0 matches. Deleted it in a fit of hungover anger. I am Zixi and I know it. And ain't no duckin' app gonna tell me otherwise. I'm probably late to the party, but I'll share because my Tinder story is terrible. And that's what we're all here to see. I matched with this really cute girl. All of her pictures were professionally done. Like senior pictures. We texted for a few days and she seemed alright. Not exactly interesting or funny, but as any sane male using Tinder, I wasn't looking for anything more than a hookup. One night she invited me to pick her up because she was sneaking out of her house. I agreed and drove to her neighborhood to meet her. I called her when I was at the gate and she sounded funny. It sounded like she was eating and her mouth was full. Thought nothing of it and waited for her to come out. She rounds the corner walking kinda funny and wearing weird clothes. Like clothes a 12-year-old girl would wear. We're both 19. She gets in my car and she's kinda making a funny face. As she reached to hold my hand without saying hello, it hit me. This girl was retarded. Her little brother came running around the corner yelling, telling her to come back because their parents were gonna go crazy. She yelled back out of my open window, "It's okay. I'm with my boyfriend. He's gonna take care of me." I ate my ducking pants. I calmly told her she should probably go with her brother, but she wouldn't let go of my hand. After some convincing, she went back with her brother and I sped the duck out of there. She called me about 20 times. Texted me saying she needed me because her parents were going mental being mad at her. I sent one text back saying she should listen to them and not sneak out anymore, and never texted her again. She still texts me to this day inviting me to go places with her family as her boyfriend. And I never reply. Now I Skype everyone before I meet them in person. Every girl on Tinder just wants me to follow their Instagram. Ducking pointless. During university last year, me and my buddies downloaded Tinder. I swiped right non-stop for a weekend and got about 300 matches and messaged all the attractive ones with various pickup lines. I had 2 one-night stands as a result of this, and coincidentally it was the same line that worked on both. Sit on my face and I lead my way to your heart, less than 3. My buddy used it. Found a girl. And they've been dating since around Easter. They have a totally normal relationship. Except that we call her Tinder Girl. My friend ducked this stripper with half a shaved head and facial tattoos. She told him that she had been smoking meth all morning and that she had a boyfriend. We later found out that she's also pregnant. My friend said it was the best sex he's ever had in his entire life. I met a girl and we met up for drinks. We talked for a while and eventually ended up going to late lunch. We texted for a couple days and ended up going out again. And she took me back to her place. Easily one of the best times of my life. She's a sweet girl. I hope to see her again soon when our schedule matches up again. I met her up with a girl so we could watch Frozen together. We actually watched Frozen together. She was disappointed and I was mesmerized. I'd never seen that it before. Oh boy. Back in January I started using it and was matched with a girl who happened to also be in engineering at the same school as me. We started talking and next thing I knew we had gone on a few dates and everything was going great. A few days later I had a stats midterm. And while studying I got a text from her saying, "Hope your midterm goes well. Why don't you come over for board games after?" Now I'm usually pretty oblivious. But board games? On a Friday night? Yeah. I'm getting laid. So I finish my midterm. Text her that I'm on my way and hop on a bus. The entire bus ride I'm smiling from ear to ear. Waiting patiently until I finally arrive around 9:30 PM. I entered her place and bam. Bottle of wine on the table. Yeah. I'm getting laid. I go and sit down. We start drinking and bam. Settlers of Catan. We played for 2 hours. She hugs me goodnight and I leave. I didn't get laid. Duck. Edit. Thanks for the gold. As our Ownster pointed out, yes, it can be played with 2 people. It's just not as fun and only takes about 20-30 minutes to play a game. Hence why 5 games in 2 hours is possible. I went out to get drinks with a girl. I proceeded to admit that I was completely broke and we would have to split the drinks. She not only paid for those drinks, but then paid for the food we later ate, more drinks, and gave me a quality BJ at the end of the night. Thanks, Tinder. I totally suck at Tinder. Met a girl for a one-night stand. 4 months later, we're getting on a plane to go on holiday together. Ducking amateur. My buddy just told me his story last week. Apparently he had it for a while and got nothing. His first hookup was some really cute girl. Showed me pics. That was somehow in the sports industry. She got them special access to a game, then they went to a party at somebody's uber expensive apartment. Rooftop garden in Mick. In the millions. He got a BJ in the bathroom. He is not the guy to brag. But it was over the top enough that he had to share the story. I've had Tinder for 16 months and have still yet to get a message. Not even from spam bots. Not on Tinder myself as I am not single. But I was going through the ladies with my single male roommate the other night. We decided there are few common components of the Tinder basic female profile that seems to be a template for all the girls on there. 1. Some stupid uplifting quote. 2. Live, laugh, love. 3. A picture with your riches at bar club restaurant with drink in hand. 4. Picture in an exotic location. 5. Picture with sports ball jersey. 6. I hate drama. Or a combination of all the above, or transgender. I was reluctant to go when she asked me out cause I'd never met anyone from online before. We ended up hooking up and all that, which was nice, but on my ride home she called me. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Then she texted me. I fell asleep and woke up with 7 text messages and quite a few Snapchats from her. I attempted to break it off nicely and politely inform her I wasn't looking to date or anything. But she wasn't really having it. I ended up insulting her until she said I was the biggest D alive and stopped texting me. 3/10. Would probably still do it again. Man. Reading all these stories really makes me wanna try Tinder just for the experience. Thanks, Reddit. I just downloaded Tinder. Never knew what this was before. Also, last week I recommended the name Tinder to my pregnant best friend as a boy's name. I should probably retract that suggestion now. Hey, I'm looking to make $40 today. Do you think that's something you could help me with? UHH. No thanks. Finally something I can answer. I've met 6 girls since I downloaded the app in January. Most have been pretty negative so it never got past conversation. Then I lost weight. I've experienced 2 firsts in my life thus far. 1. I've had 6 on a beach at night. Complete with sticks poking my ass. 2. Post-orgasm a girl has patted me on the head and said good job. 10/10 would do again. I see this alert, and it frustrates me, because most women don't know what we mean when we say this. We don't mean it won't fit, we mean it's not comfortable, and when it's constricted like that it could result in not being able to get enough blood flow, and we can't get it up. Took me a few tries to realize I just needed magnums, which sucks because regular sized condoms get all the fun stuff like heated and ridges and all that. So calm down. Maybe he's not trying to get out of wearing one. Maybe the ones you have are legitimately not his size. You could, in theory, jam your boobs into a bra that's too small for you, but your day is going to be miserable. Try to have some consideration for us too.